Hi, I'm that yummy mummy. Got my 5th child in my tummy. I don't know who the father is, I just do for the benefit money. My kids are dirty and scummy. I don't bother to wash their clothes. They play out in their school uniform and always have a snotty nose.
Yeah, just one thing that I think we should mention. You've not got your t-shirt on again.
I was working late last night till about 3 and it just stunk, so I put it in the wash this morning. The guest turns up an hour and a half early. Wasn't dry, so I'm coming in. It's an on-close day for me.
To our loyal fans who've watched 002, they know that's exactly the same excuse as you used last time, bro.
Okay, listen to this, right? It's roasting in here. It's roasting in Darwin, and he's wearing a beanie hat. Or I'll just tell the people that it's winter now.
Whoa, first day of winter, bro.
Doesn't mean it's not warm.
Listen,
You're kicking off for?
I'm plugging the products for when it gets big.
We don't sell these. These are just for staff only.
Beanie hat, Flex website. You don't know?
I don't know. Maybe just. I just want to keep just for us. You can have stickers. We'll send some stickers.
Yeah, we'll get them a different coloured one.
Yeah. Okie dokie. So we have our next guest here on 003. He is award-winning MC. A few years in a row. He likes his vodka. He likes his Stella. He never cares what time it is. And he never goes home. We are here with MC Finchy.
Yeah.
Go on. Nice little introduction, that, to be fair.
That's sick.
Appreciate that.
No worries. I can't see your face. I might move forward. Shit, yeah.
Can you see me now?
I can see you now.
Yeah, belting.
So, how the hell are you?
Yeah, doing good. Well, say I'm doing good. I'll say I had a bit of a heavy night last night.
Bit closer.
Closer. Can you hear me now?
Perfect.
Yeah, had a heavy night last night, so yeah, feeling a bit tender, but yeah.
That's standard for our guests, isn't it? I think it's.
I think everyone's a bit rough after this, before this.
It's weird though, because it's rare that I do actually drink and enjoy myself these days. A lot of the time I'm kind of sober. So yeah, yesterday was very Michelle McManus, very heavy.
What did you get up to yesterday?
So I was down at Fusion Festival
Nice.
in Liverpool with Anton Powers. That was a good buzz, and there was a good few of my mates out in Liverpool after. So I thought, whilst they're in Liverpool, I'll meet up with them. It was like a Big Love. It was like an old school Ibiza Classics event.
Nice.
So yeah, went down there, had a few drinks. Rob Kane was on, so I met
Robbie.
up with Rob. A few of the other Liverpool guys were there. So yeah, it was good, and it was. With it being a daytime thing as well, I weren't actually out till too late, which was a bonus.
They're the best ones.
What time did you get in though?
Got back to Wigan about 12ish.
Nice.
Stayed up for about an
Very
hour or
sensible.
so. Yeah, an hour or so, and then hit the sack about 1 because I had this in mind today. So I've been up all night, practicing.
Yes.
Like you said, I got here an hour early for it.
But what did you intentionally want to get here an hour and a half early?
No, I intentionally. I hadn't looked at my actual watch. I've been checking on my phone, and because my kind of head's a bit all over the place this morning, I assumed it was like I had 10 minutes left, so I was rushing around to get here. It's only the first time when I actually looked at my watch, and it was like 3.
Yeah,
supposed to be
shit.
at 4. I was like, oh, God's sake! So
You're here, you made it.
that's.
Yeah, it got me rushing around a little bit, but you chill. You weren't in a rush to get off. Are you in a rush to get off?
No.
All right, cool, man. We'll keep you here a while
I
then.
keep me here all night.
So, let's go down memory lane. Let's go right to the very beginning of MC Finchy.
Right, very beginning. Well, like a lot of people around towns across the northwest, I was, one of the scallies, knocking about on the streets, drinking, getting up to all kind of mischief and whatnot. Being from Wigan as well, Wigan Pier albums and Maxines were like huge, as probably Monroe's was around like the Blackburn and Burnley region. So,
who were the MCs at that time?
Well, at the time, the first MC I actually heard was Domino and it may have been Breeze or something on an old Maxime CD, but I wasn't really keen on the MCs. I thought because I'd heard.
You don't rate Domino?
Yeah, I do rate it.
You were keen on him back then,
but at the time I'd never heard MCs, so I didn't really.
So you didn't rate him back then?
Stop putting words into it. No, I heard it. I preferred it without MCs. Let's say. So I used to listen to like the Wigan Pier albums. I used to always knock about with people who were older, and that's what they used to listen to. So I love the music itself. And then a few years later, I was at a house party, and someone had on a Crick CD which had Avi and FEZ on, and then that's when I heard them MC, and I was like, "What's this? This is decent, this." And it just kept, it was being played all night. So at the end of the night, when we got kicked out, the police ended up kicking us out. I robbed the CD. And
You robbed the CD?
Yeah, I robbed the CD.
Whose CD was it?
I don't actually know. Strange thing was, it's Faye Muirhead was the girl whose house it was, and she ended up getting married to a lad who I worked with not recently. So, yeah, it's all down to the party at Faye's that kind of kick-started it, really. So, like the early stages, it was getting that CD. I literally, within a couple of weeks, I'd listened to it that much. I knew it word for word.
Yeah.
But then people in my school, they hadn't heard of this, and I've gone in and say, I'm doing MCing now. Like I was basically just ripping that. Hold tight, Stephen J. But at the time, I used to like MCing this like little like voice. Yeah, what's going on? I don't know. Been a bit of bad boy. I can't even do it now. My voice was probably that high pitched, but yeah, it was just that. And then I started kind of venturing out and listening to kind of more CDs, different other MCs, and kind of just picking bits from that.
So your MC voice now is completely different to how it used to be.
Yeah.
Have you ever, as people ever said, I prefer how you used to sound? From the days
no,
where you could get your tracks off LimeWire.
There's probably people that say it, isn't there? I mean, there's people. I noticed you like to comment that someone wrote on one of my pictures the other week when someone put, "I don't like Finch anymore. He's gone too commercial."
No, I laughed at it because it was fucking funny. Because I was like, "What? How's he gone commercial? What is he making stuff in pop charts or what? What? How does he got? Where did he get that from? Do you know him or is just
I don't know.
He generally thought you've gone mainstream.
Yeah, he thinks I've gone too mainstream, but yeah, I mean, there's people that are, people always say, "Oh, I preferred you back in the day," or people say, "I prefer you now." It's obviously there's no right and wrong answer really. So yeah, people say, obviously your voice has changed, but I think that's just, if you hear me speaking when I was 16, when I first kind of started at Maxines, to what I was saying now, I would sound completely different. So,
has anyone ever said to you, "It sound like Jonak"?
A few people have said he sounds like me.
Yeah, Finchy came before Jonak.
I've heard, yeah, he sounded like.
I think I used to say he's like a faster Fincher in olden days when I first heard him.
Oh, people were saying you're like a faster Jonak, a slower Jonak. No, I'm joking.
You should know about it. You're not gonna get a bite from it.
Oh, I'm not after a bite. I'm after a conversation. No, don't worry. Yeah, sorry. Go on.
I was gonna say, what's your first memories of Fincher from when you were younger? When did you first sort of come across him?
I never. I think it was just CDs. Yeah, your tunes were on I'm sure it was like LimeWire or Kazaa.
LimeWire and Berkshire and the likes.
Yeah,
it was and
I had on them because someone had it on the phone in school. I was like, "Where'd you get this from? You're not having it." I'm like, "All right, well, I'll find it myself." So I must have got off Kazaa and then buzzing off it then. And then you kept popping up on YouTube, terrorising your mum.
Yeah, with the Fincher versus his mum.
Yeah, MC Race rhymes. And then. But yeah, it's not about me, it's about him.
Yeah, just asking when you first heard of him.
How about yourself, VJ? When did you first?
Same, Maxines CDs, like old Maxines tapes, CD packs and stuff, and obviously just buzzing, like to think, because I don't know how old you are roughly, but I was around a similar age and thinking someone of our age at Maxines, like sick, like with all the older people. So we used to buzz off you a lot, saying all your rhymes, obviously D500 era, little speaker in form, pumping tunes out, and one of like things that I used to buzz off the most with like the Frequency videos during the little bedroom type thing, big black and white poster, you in an England top of some sort of spitting boys. They were like my first memories of MC Finchy.
Where's all them videos gone?
They're still on YouTube.
Not all of them.
Oh,
so many that I can remember that's not there now.
All the best ones aren't there. I've been trying to find some of them.
Yeah, because the full videos, I'm not too sure we can probably find them. It
just
seems to be just clips and stuff. It was either Alex or Hodge at the time, because we used to obviously stream the full thing live, and then I don't know actually what happened to that video. I wasn't really.
There's quite a few, weren't there?
Yeah.
Every volume got streamed,
I think there were
pretty much everyone. One or two that didn't, because we recorded one in Power Records. We recorded one. I think we did one at a record shop over the water somewhere in the Wirral. So there's the odd few that didn't get streamed. But yeah, I mean, at the time, nobody else was obviously doing it, so it was something kind of unique, really. But yeah, I don't know what happened to them because there's just little snippets now. Just on
but they
YouTube.
were like legendary, man. Everybody knew those.
When someone reposts them on Facebook, they do well as well.
I know, yeah, it bugs me that because it's like I wish I had reposted it from my page, so I got the traffic.
Ask Hodgok, Alex, can you not find these full videos?
Potentially. It's never really.
They'll bang. I think they'll bang. Cause people just remember it. Like two that I remember off the top of my head is when is it ILL? Turn it up a decibel. And then there's another one where Race comes in for the first time. You're MCing, and I think you give him the mic, and he goes, "Time for the reload, chick chick bang," and everybody's just like hearing it, and they're just fucking buzzing in the room.
Yeah.
I remember them ones.
Yeah, they was good. But yeah, I mean, like you said, the Maxines thing was like madness as well, because I mean, at the time I was still at school when I first started the over 18, so I was, How
did it come about? How did you get into obviously the biggest stage that you possibly could at that age?
Well, it was initially after doing all the copying and stuff, I built up a bit of my own little freestyle patterns. I'd written a few like little lyrics, the Coronation Street one, the Purple Aki one. They were like my first two that I ever wrote when I was about 14, which I still use today. Eminem would be, jealous of the poetry and lyricism contained within them sections. But so then at Maxines they used to have an open mic on a Wednesday, under 18s events. You queue up for ages, there'd be loads of people. Scotty G was the resident at the time, and then after bits of going on there, eventually he said, "Oh, you sound really good." And there was a lad who lived quite close to me. He kind of taught me how to project my voice and stuff. So when I was going in there, I went from a squeaky voice to kind of projecting it, and I just sounded so much better than the rest because they couldn't really project the voice proper.
Who was the other MCs?
I don't know.
Who was the rest?
Just like all wannabes like me at the time. Really.
That's sick how it happened like that. Like actually getting noticed as opposed to knowing somebody and getting in that way. I think it's a lot better that you went to an open mic thing, somebody noticed saying you're sick and got you on. It's
proper old school, and I don't think that could happen.
No, not in this day.
I mean, because at the time, under 18s events, they were massive right across the country, and there was for several years like after that. And it was just doing that, God knows how many weeks, week in, week out. And at one point, I was just stood in the queue, ready to go in on a regular Wednesday, and Pete, the manager at the time, walked past. I said, "Oh, you're right, Pete." He's like, "Oh, come with me." So he walked me to the front of the queue, and the queue was like round the corner. So I was like, "Oh, thank God for that. I was buzzing with this." And he just said to the doorman, "Let this guy in for free every week now." They used to give out a free CD each week as well of the recording from the week before.
Nice.
So I've been on them a few times, like the recordings, and he said, "What's your name?" So I'm going to start putting your MC name on the CD. And at the time, I used to call myself MC Mint.
MC Mint.
MC Mint.
Where did you got that from?
Wicked on the mic like a window tint. One of my first rhymes. So yeah, I used to call myself MC Mint.
Why?
I don't know, because mint, it's like a Wigan thing, innit?
It was like a word, isn't it?
Yeah,
so no meaning behind it at all?
No, just like, mint.
I'm mint.
Yeah, mint. Like that. Yeah, that's... And he said, "Yeah, what's your name? I'll put your name on the CD." And I just had a kind of a light bulb moment where I thought, right, if I make it here, do I want to be known as like MC Mint or just Finchy, what people call me? So I was like, "Oh, Finchy."
See, I don't reckon you would have got as far as you are now if you was called Mint.
No way, man. No way.
You can't picture it. It's not possible that an MC that's called MC Mint is doing Fusion Liverpool.
Yeah.
That is, performing at friggin' what's that rugby place?
Oh yeah,
Wigan Rugby.
Yeah, the DW Stadium.
So, yeah, MC Mint.
MC Mint live. Yeah, so that so that was one thing. When I look back, I think, yeah, thank God I didn't really stick with that. And yeah, that was probably another 6 months or so, just doing that week in, week out on the under 18s.
So what sort of year we're talking here?
So that was 2000, between 2003 2004, and then in 2005, that's when Pete, the manager, said, "Do you fancy coming down and doing the over 18s this Saturday? National Anthem's all nighter." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm up for that." So yeah, that's when I first started on the over 18s, and obviously that was madness at the time.
What were it like? Obviously, going from unknown kids to getting on the stage with people who've you been listening to on CDs and stuff?
It was the MCs that was weird.
So there was Scotty G, who I kind of got to know from going to the under-18s. A few of the older ones had actually come down to a few of the under-18s ones as well. So I've met a few of them, but like nothing, not had a good chat. 'Cause obviously I'm just a kid at the time. They're in the 20s. They probably think, who's this kiddie? I don't know, chatting to 15-year-olds. But Blazy, Roach, Rhythm. Rhythm was at the time. Rhythm was he was like one of my big inspirations. So like being on the stage with him, that was like, well, this is madness. I was like, I can't wait to go back in school and tell everybody. But it was weird because I think at the time as well, I was too young to kind of understand it all. It was just a case of just going doing the over 18s, and then you think about what it's like to break into the scene now. If that was to happen, I know a lot of people who'd be like, who's this idiot? I don't want nothing to do with him. But at the time, I just kind of rolled with it. But
you were like a hero to a lot of people, like for being so young. Like we couldn't even get into the clubs, and you're there in it under 18 and on the stage. It's like another level. Even if you got into it and you weren't even on the stage, you'd be buzzing. Yeah. So obviously it's somewhere we looked up to and listened to the CDs. So to be that young and break through and be on the stage. Yeah,
it was lucky. It was lucky, and I can't see it. It may happen again, but at the minute I can't see it happening again for a while, really. But it was like really kind of unique thing to happen. And like you said, me being so young as well, being in this environment where there's like 1,500 people every single week, and I'm got thrown in straight at the deep end with all like the best MCs on the scene, and there was probably people who'd been plugging away for years,
trying.
Thinking, who's this idiot? And obviously at the time I was a lot different to a lot of the other MCs that were on. That everyone kind of taught the bad boy stuff and do this and do that, whereas I just come in and just taught about absolute nonsense, like just stupid. It had like I went for like the comedic kind of route. So
what was your first bar then?
I think it was the Coronation Street one. I think was one of the first ones that I wrote, and I remember I'd written it in. I was in one of my friends who used to have decks. Chris Parr. I was in his house, and a few of us were sat round. And I was like, "Oh, need right around. What should we do about?" And then it was like Coronation Street. A few people like kind of chipped in with like little things, and writ it there. And then I'd learnt it kind of that night. And then Per Placky was one of that followed shortly after. So they were like my two main ones that I used to use, and people kind of got to know them pretty quick. So they were like the first two ones. Still use them. Well, the Coronation Street I didn't use for years because I have the characters at the time are no longer in there. But I get people say, "Please do it, please do it." So every now and then I might drop it.
Yeah, man. So you're up to Maxines. Where did it go from there after Maxines? When did you do Wigan? Because I'm assuming back then Wigan P was still the main stage of what you had to get on to sort of know.
Well, at the time it was Wigan P and Maxines were the main venues, but Wigan P didn't have MCs on. So if you was an MC, Maxines was the place to be. So I was content being there. I had no kind of aspirations to do Wigan P at the time, and then I used to spend a lot of time in Per Records, so I got to know Mikey B and Ben T, residents at the Pier. As time went on with Maxines as well, I was enjoying it still. It was still like the pinnacle to a lot of people, but I felt I could do more doing other places, and you was always restricted with what you could do whilst you worked there with the politics and
there were politics back then.
Oh yeah. So there's politics.
Not as bad as today, or worse.
I mean, back then you weren't allowed to work anywhere else on a Saturday, anywhere at all. And then they'd be funny gigs. You say you're doing gigs on a Friday, you'd have to check they was okay and stuff like that. But I didn't know any better. But I always felt that I got to a point where it was kind of hindering me because I was getting offers elsewhere for a lot more money than what I was getting paid, which was like peanuts at the time for being at the biggest club. So then in the end, over time, I was like, kind of wanted more, and we had kind of a bit of a fallout over nothing, and then I just thought it was the time to kind of move on. And at the time as well, Maxine was still, a big thing, and a lot of people were saying, "You're mad, you shouldn't be doing this," and
crazy.
People were saying, "Yeah, you're going to be finished when you leave here," and stuff like that. But
how old were you when you were saying stuff like that to you?
18.
All right.
So 2 years. I've been 2 years. I think it was 2007. So within, I think I finished there in December, and then we put Frequency on. Frequency we put Frequency on the second week in January, about a month later, and locked it out.
Where that?
At Wigan Pier.
At Wigan Pier?
So at the time, Farrell had started doing a few PAs and stuff, and when I left there, they kind of brought me in and said, right, we're going to be putting a few more things on. So I used to we'd do the Frequency nights, and then I'd go down there, at least once a month, just doing like little bits of hosting and stuff, which I did for a number of years there. So I literally went from Maxines to kind of doing Pier a lot, and then just doing my own thing. Like the Frequency started taking off, obviously not long after I started after Maxines. So yeah, and then it kind of just went from there really. So I went from one thing and just kind of fell into another.
So with Frequency, did it become a full-time job at one point?
Yeah, I did that full-time, did music full-time for a few years. So it was, the Frequency thing started, Alex and Hodge I'd known a few times. When I was underage, there was another club I used to go to in Wigan called The Flame. Its nickname was The Shed, because it used to be an old cow shed that they converted into a club. And I met Alex and Hodge down there, and we've been saying, need to do a mix CD. And I really wanted to do a mix CD at the time, because at Maxines it was a really hard place to kind of do your lyrics and do your content.
Yeah, because you're sort of hosting it as well, aren't you?
Well, it was more like MCing going for it, but because there's 6 of you all fighting for goals at the mic, I really wanted to do something that I could showcase everything else that I did. So when the opportunity came, they said, do you want to do this mix? I was like, yeah, let's do it. And I got to know MC Azzy as well. He wasn't really on anywhere. And I said to him, do you want to come down? I thought it was really good. Come down, we'll do this CD. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. So we just did the mix CD, put it up on one of the forums, which were like the Facebook of the time. And then that just blew up. And then, it was, I think a lot of this stuff over the years has just been about timing. I kind of came around when like the Berkshire LimeWire era was started, and then when YouTube kind of first started taking off, I was on that, and it kind of, with the forums and like streaming the music and the video streaming, we kind of hit that at the right time as well. So we just kind of rode on the crest on the back of that really. But yeah, Frequency, that kind of blew up, and yeah, within about 2 volumes, I think the demand was there to do like a club night. So we was doing like one night a month in Southport, and every other month in Blackpool at DNA.
Was it hard to get clubs like it is nowadays for bounce?
Yeah, it was
hard back then.
Yeah, it was hard back then. There was only certain clubs that you could get in, whereas now you can, and it weren't just that as well. The deals that you got wasn't very kind of favourable.
Like a percentage on the door and stuff?
Yeah, it should be like 50-50 split, but then you'd have to pay all your DJs, pay all your own promo and etc. Whereas, the deals are a bit more kind of favourable now for promoters. Sometimes you can just do a dry hire so you can get the bar and stuff. Not majority of the time, you're taking the full door now. So yeah, it's a lot more favourable. I mean, and if you look at some of the stuff that's happened over some of the years, some of the clubs and the venues and places that bounce is now being played, years ago it wouldn't have been.
You wouldn't have thought of it.
No chance. It wouldn't have happened. It just wouldn't have happened.
So speaking about venues, what's the best venue you've worked at? Would you say?
I mean, if we're talking club wise,
everything wise, and then we'll go to club wise. Yeah. The hypest, the best feeling, that type of. I mean,
some of the nights in Foo Bar were just unbelievable. I mean, it was an absolute dump. It only held about 300 people, but the atmosphere in there, because Frequency was massive at the time, so you'd do your long lyrics. Everyone knew the words to all the long lyrics. You didn't really need to have hook lines. The atmosphere in there was electric. So there's no kind of one standout night in there. They was all absolutely unreal. It's so hard to say, because there's been so many kind of big ones. I mean,
what's the biggest club, biggest crowd you've performed to?
So that was probably the Liverpool International Music Festival I did this year. So they sold 34,000 tickets, I think. But I mean, they had 2 other arenas which held about 1,000 in each, and then the rest was kind of more towards the main stage. So it could be anything. 25 up to 30,000 people kind of were in front of me.
Shit. What it was Who's the DJ?
So I was on with Anton Powers for that
Was
one.
that one? Right.
Yeah, so he's reached out and I'm doing a few bits with him now. So
he's quite big as well, you know. He's massive. He's well known. He's got songs on Radio 1 in the charts and stuff. And
I see his name popping up a lot more recently, to be honest. I know he's already a well-established DJ artist, but yeah, I keep seeing him pop up more, man. So is that most probably your name popping up with him?
Yeah, it's been good for me. It kind of came out the blue as well. I was just, I've done a few gigs where he's been there. We've kind of, exchanged words and stuff, kind of talk, but we're not like, say mates, or we don't know each other that well. And I just got a message out the blue just saying, "Hi, do you fancy doing this? I'm doing this gig in Liverpool. I think I need someone to do a bit of mic work. Do you fancy doing it?" So I said, yeah. I said, "What's it called?" And he showed me, and I was like, "Yeah, that looks pretty good." I didn't get me hopes up, I didn't go shouting it. Like, I think I told like one or two people. I said, "Yeah, he's asked me to do this," and I wasn't.
But he must have been popping at the time when he asked you. He's released like a big name.
Yeah. I've known of him for years because I used to listen to like his radio show as well on Juice FM on I think it was either a Friday or a Saturday. So I used to listen to it. So I've known of him, and a lot of the Liverpool DJs, everyone kind of knows each other. So he's kind of mutual friends. So yeah, I've known of him for quite a long time. So it was quite surprising. Like I said, he plays main stage at Creamfields every single year, and for him to kind of come out the blue and ask me did I want to kind of jump on the set with him, I was like, yeah, I was buzzing. So that was good. So that's the biggest. The stadium, there was that I did last month for the Wigan game. There was, I think, about 12,000. I think they had on. So yeah, there was 12,000. Then there's been a few like around the 8,000-10,000 mark, 4 or 5 over the years.
Did the Rugby One get filmed?
No. Do you want to explain mine?
Listen, when you started saying about it, I'm thinking, shit, I thought you weren't going to mention this, but
I might as well mention it because I felt bad for it about it. So basically, yeah, we was hired to go and film. It was just me, to be honest, that was going to go film, but I was already working somewhere else, so I put Will on the job. I said, "Will, I need you to be do this at this time." On Saturday. So then I get a text off you, "Where's your guy?" I'm like, "Will, where are you?" He's about to go on. He goes, "I'm at work." I'm like, "What do you mean you're at work?" "He's about to go on, you best go now." He went, "You said Saturday." And I went, "No, it's Friday, today." And then he forwarded me the text I sent, and I said Saturday. I've just gone, "No, man." And I'm gutted, and I felt really bad, and you made me feel even more bad, saying this is the biggest day of my life.
Yeah, because it was no big deal. It was only the club I'd supported since I was born, and watched all over the world. It was no biggie, that you let me down.
But I did offer, as you said, your missus had a camera to film. I said I'll edit it, and then I just got cold-shouldered. Yeah. Is the footage?
There is footage, yeah.
I said I'll edit it.
Yeah.
For a sorry. So,
yeah, right. Yeah,
and I was scared that you weren't going to turn up for this because of that. I then texted him, said, "You're going to come?" Yes. And just no like talking or anything. Just straight one word answers. I'm like, he's not turning up, man. And then he turns up an hour and a half early. But, yeah.
No, purposely wanted to make you feel bad for a bit. I was fine. I was.
No, I don't know, man. I don't know.
You should know. No, nothing. I don't get. Well, nothing really bothers me. So I was just like, it's just one of them things. Because I think in my head, I knew it was. They said if it goes well, then we'll do future things. And in my head, I was confident that I could do well enough to go back on. So there's always another time.
How was it? What was it like?
Yeah, it was good. It was quite surreal as well because how it all kind of come about. I was watching a game there a few years ago, and they had this rubbish like band on at half time, and I said to my mate, I said I need to get up there. Mm-hmm. So like it's been one of the things. It's been one of my ambitions, and then just kind of I've kind of said it, and I thought right, one day I'm going to release like a commercially kind of track, housey track, or maybe just like just something along them lines that can just basically get me in there, so I could do that because it was kind of like one of my ambitions, and then I just kind of just said tongue in cheek on Twitter, I need to perform at Wigan one day, and Wigan somehow kind of got hold of it, and they put on Twitter like if we'll make this happen if this can get 1,000 retweets if this can get 1,000 retweets, and then within the space of up to an hour or something, I think it had 2,500. So I was like,
shit. What do they do on Fridays?
What, the games?
What? I remember you saying they do on Fridays.
Is it the players?
Oh yeah, the players. Yeah. So they've got a thing now. It's happened for years now. It's called Finchy Fridays. Where
that is sick. And you never knew about that?
Yeah, I knew about that.
Oh, did you know?
Yeah, one of the players who I grew up. One of the players. I grew up with him. I've known him since school. He used to say, because he hates the music. He's been to like 1 or 2 gigs. He absolutely hates it. He said this started probably about 10 years ago. The Finchy Fridays. He said, I hate it. He said, on Fridays now, they said they put all your music on, all the MC in. He said, I absolutely hate it. He said, they call it Finchy Fridays. So this has been going on for a few years now. And then the younger generation of players that kind of grew up on listening to me on the phone and stuff, obviously they're now at playing on the team. So it kind of continued on. And then, because a lot of Wigan players as well, they play for various different clubs. So, I get videos all the time from different rugby clubs, like when they're training, they've got the tunes blasted and stuff like that. So, I kind of had a good relationship as well with the ex coach. He left last year. I know his daughter really well. So I have got quite a few kind of contacts within the club. So I knew if I did something kind of half decent, that was kind of family friendly, I knew I had the chance to kind of fulfill that kind of bucket list. But yeah, I mean, they did all the retweets and everything happened, and then they started following me on Twitter.
No, bro.
I can't blow it that way because it'll go on in.
Blow it up, man.
Because then it comes down and fucks us up.
CO2 cannon in my face.
Can you start putting your smoking patches on or something like that when you're recording?
Oh, there's no nicotine in this.
What is it then?
Pinkman from Vampire Vape.
Nice
advertise,
plug.
Yeah.
Oh, while I'm plugging as well, I just want to tell everyone about the new Flex Water, lemon and lime.
Vitamin water.
Oh, it's perfect for this. When you're not feeling too good and you get places an hour early, this is what you need to kind of refuel, recuperate, and get the essential vitamins that you need for the day. But yeah, they started following me on Twitter, dropped me a message saying, yeah, this is my number. He passed me your details, so I sent my number, and I got just a WhatsApp about a week later of somebody saying off the commercial manager. But first I thought, I'm just double checking, make sure it's none of the players winding me up or anything. So I checked his picture on WhatsApp, went on the club website to check it was his proper name and stuff, and then just had the conversation. We started planning this back in February. But then looking at the fixtures and stuff, a lot of stuff happened with the club. There was a few things going on with managers and players and whatnot, so we kind of put it back. And then it just kind of actually happened. I was saying, is this going to happen or what? And he's like, yeah, we'll do it next week. I was like, yeah, wanted to do a big build up and stuff, but yeah, I knew it. He was saying, if it all goes well, because I think there's a few people at the club who are a bit sceptical, of course. Well, I mean, you've got to imagine there's families there, there's...
But who was sceptical?
I think just a few people at the club.
Names?
I don't know. I wish I did know the names, actually, because,
we could say
call you out on that. But no, obviously there's going to be... It was always going to happen. So, there's kind of... If I just turned up there and started emceeing to full-on, donk, it's obviously not going to go well.
But did you not?
No, I've got...
No. What did you do?
So I started off... So I did a DJ set, jumped on the mic, did a little bit. So I started off playing a few housey bits, a few old school bits, then into some well-known trancey stuff, like DD Forever. Then Superstar, a few Clubland bits, and then finished off with about 3 or 4 kind of bounce dunk tracks at the end. Ozone Bounce and
did you do the Ozone Bounce thing?
Yeah, but obviously I didn't do the full
MC
talking about pills and and whatnot. So, but no, it was kind of did it that way as well. Just so it's just obviously it's accommodating for the crowd, isn't it? Yeah. And that's what you've got to do as an artist. Whatever crowd you're in front of, you've got to make sure you can accommodate
tailor it to them, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, all went well, and they're gonna get me back next year. Fingers crossed.
Sick.
Nice, man. Speaking of. You're doing this so long. You're celebrating 15 years of MC Finchy. That's a long time, and that's a good achievement, man.
It is, yeah. Yes, I turned 31 at the end of this month.
You do?
Yes, so like I said, started at Maxines when I was 16, so yeah, 15 years. And I just thought as well, I see a lot of kind of my inspirations now as I always kind of look at different scenes and what kind of they do and kind of take bits from that, put my own kind of twist on it. And one thing I've seen that the drum and bass MCs do a lot is they kind of put on their own headline shows on like the birthdays. You know, you see it Skibbity's birthday bash, Evil B's birthday bash, put on like a big event. And it was something that I kind of wanted to do as well. And I just thought with it being the 15 years and it's my birthday at the same time, we'll kind of just put the two together. The concept is as well is just, you know, getting people down who've played a massive part kind of in the journey so far. So I've got like the lad who I said before, Chris Parr, we used to start in his house with. I've got him to come down, do his set. The lad who taught me to project my voice, he lives down in Bristol. I've not spoke to him in about 15 years. I've got him to come up, and then I've got obviously a lot of the people within the scene as well who played a big part. DJs from Maxines, Pia, Frequency. No, I don't think I want to invite her. She came to one gig. She came to the S2S in Preston. So yeah, I said she's not allowed to come again.
Well, what did she do wrong?
Nothing. She's just an idiot. So yeah, she was.
That's her getting you back for them videos.
Yeah, it is.
But if you like did that thing, they're like them YouTube videos where you just start MCing and jumping up and down on stage, I think it would go wild.
Oh, I don't think I could do it now. I look back at them videos and cringe, man.
Do you?
Yeah,
but you're only
like
young, weren't you?
Yeah, young little kid
17,
having a laugh.
You're just having a laugh, aren't you? But you know, it's
so
some of the situations that I'm in now, and people, oh yeah, do you remember? I've seen you do. I mean, obviously with my job and stuff, part of like serious industry, if you will. So if like some of the clients, if they like search me and see that, you're like, oh man, what was I doing? No, it was good laugh though. And
so what can people expect from you on a night? Like, what's it going to consist of? Is it?
So it's going to be a lot of the older tracks. Obviously, there's going to be some new ones. There's a few people who've kind of artists and stuff who I've worked with only in the last 5-6 years who are going to be kind of part of it as well. So it's going to be a real kind of mixture of old and new. I think the tracks, it's all the biggest tracks from over the kind of the last 15 years, and I've got a few little surprises on the night as well, which will stuff that's kind of never been done.
Yeah, what if we don't drop this podcast till after the event? Can we find out the surprises now?
No.
We'll drop it after the event if you tell us the surprises.
I'm not telling anybody. One of the surprises I've got lined up is big.
Like an artist?
I think it's an artist, and
have you used this artist before?
Other things as well.
Have you used one of these artists before?
Potentially.
Can I guess?
No.
Right. Are you working with Lee and Joe on this?
Yes.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah. So I've got Drake and Joe helping me run it as well. But yeah, I'm not saying who it
Can
is.
I guess?
You can guess, but I'm not giving you an answer.
I could tell by your facial expression. I'm good with body language and all
Go on
that.
then.
Is he English? I'm asking a question.
I told you I'm not giving you an answer.
Yeah, no, a question, not quite. I just want a hint. Is he English?
Yeah.
He's from Britain.
Yes.
I can't guess. I can't think.
Well, that were a letdown, bro.
I know.
I don't know. I was like, I have a feeling because that's why I asked the question.
Who were you thinking of then? Who did you
I'm
think?
thinking Alex K.
No, it's not.
Just
Alex.
because, I don't know, because it's Wigan and...
Alex K's a legend.
Yeah, I've not got 10 grand spare, unfortunately.
Is that how much he is?
Well, it's probably not that much, but he's a lot anyway, because obviously I had him on early this year. And yeah, obviously...
That's why I asked, because I thought you might have been friends and might give you like 50% off, 5 grand.
Yeah.
Plus a rider.
Yeah, plus a rider. Yeah. So
do you have a rider?
I do. Weirdly enough, yes, I do.
What's your rider?
It was a bottle of vodka and mixers.
So you do drink vodka?
But the thing was, I was turning up to a lot of them, and I never really drink. So some of them I get there, and there'd be like a little green room with a bottle of vodka, and I just kind of just put it in my bag and take it home and just never drink it. The only time it gets drank is when people come round and you know they want to drink. I don't really drink it at home. So.
When you rolling up to sets, do you go on your own most of the time now, or do you take your mates with you? And
no, 99 times out of 100, it's driving on myself. Back in the day, my mates used to come quite a lot, but then as you get older, you know, less and less people want to actually come. Not so it's, you know, don't get some of the bigger gigs. I probably even struggle getting some of my mates to some of the bigger gigs now as well.
You're pissing me off with that.
You know,
but no, I'm only asking because like when we're filming, obviously we get to go backstage and stuff, and it's always a buzz with some of the artists to have their mates there, have a little chill after it.
I hate when people bring their friends. It's fucking annoying as fuck.
Yeah,
because they get smashed and they're in my way, and I just can't be asked. And especially when people bring girls
and they're on stage,
and it's different in different genres. Girls who, like in the bounce scene, are more different. They're just jumping up and down and just going wild. People in girls who are on the stage in the house scene are just doing selfie videos and are in my way, doing me head in, and I'm just like, I'm not smash.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I prefer just doing it solo, just like for many of them reasons that you've said. There's been so many instances.
Get you in trouble as well.
That's it, man.
Exactly.
You're responsible for them, aren't you? If you're in a big job and they start being...
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm not booking him again if he's bringing his friends and all that.
Not mentioning any names. If Aspen turned up here, then, you know...
See, well, Aspen's messed us up so many times. He's a better lad. You know, he's always been a good lad, but he's always been a little idiot, man. No, he's not an idiot. I'm sorry, Aspen. He's just a plonker. So basically, what you know, he'll when he gets a bit wavy, he starts talking absolute lies, and he'll go up to people like saying, "Yeah,
like the biggest of artists you've met."
Yeah, like he went up, like was at a drum and bass event, and he started proper chewing people's ears off. These drum and bass MCs like Harry Shotter and that, saying, "We'll start filming you for, you know, we'll do this, we'll do it for free." I'm like, and then he told me the next day, Aspen, no, shut up, man. That's not how we get work. You know, just he goes, yeah, but if it happens, and you're like, yeah, but and it's not just not them only artists. He's done it to quite a few artists when he's been off his nut. But full respect, because he only means well.
Yeah,
and he only means well, but it's just not how we operate, and he knows that. But when he's had a beer, anything else, he just gets a bit. But he's more chilled out nowadays, and I love him to bits. And he's still one of the boys. He's just a bad liar as well, and I'll let you know. I
let it out, lad. Get it all out. Come on,
you little rat, you little smacker. You do my head in.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, one of my exes, she finished me because she said I told too many lies, but I think it's because I've got a big penis.
Which ex?
Have you got?
I forgot his name.
What was Bounce 7 like? Because obviously, how I remember it, which was the raver side, because I was not into video at the time. So what was it like? I heard a few stories from the backstage stuff, like pooing in friggin' shower and stuff. Who was that again?
Oh, I don't know about that one. There was a funny story. My mate Tez, you know, Tez the dancer.
Stage Invader.
Yeah, the Stage Invader. There's a funny story once where he used to come, Tez and one of my other mates, Boylan, they've come to many a gig, and both of them together, they're hilarious. You know, they're always getting up to daft stuff. You know, the cream feels like they'll climb on like the tents, and you know, security like get down, and they're like stuff that make us. You know,
everybody
just like,
cheering, way.
Yeah, just like dancing. You know, they climb up on places, and you know, you can't take them anywhere. They're hilarious. So they actually came to 53 Degrees, and I was like, listen, lads, because at the time it was like very kind of professional, and you know, everything was kind of. It was like kind of proper, and I said, yeah, you can come, but you know, if you come backstage, you've got to behave. It was like, yeah, no worries, we'll be fine, don't worry. So I'm stood there on stage about to go on, and Farrell come down to me, FEZ. He said, weird this. He said, I've just been up in the green room. He said, 2 lads have just stripped off and both got in the shower because there was a shower in there. He's like, nobody knows who they are. I was like, I bet it's Tez and Boylan. So I went upstairs, and they're both just in the shower, just like nothing on.
Naked.
Everyone's kind of stood round. You're like, who the hell are these two? I was like, oh yeah, the mate. I said, lads, get your clothes on now. And he was like, oh, we just wanted a shower. I was like,
so was it them that pooed in the shower then?
I don't think they pooed in there. I don't remember nobody laying a log in there. It could have happened. I mean, there was. Again, like I said, there's bits. There's times when people say, "Oh, do you remember when that happened when you was there?" And I can't really remember it.
Right.
Still, like certain things that kind of stick out in my memory. But yeah, it potentially would have happened. There's some weird stuff that went down in that green room.
What was it AJ like back then?
Yeah,
Was he strict? Because it come across as it was strict.
He was strict in some ways.
Check that. Is that still rolling? Yeah. Is it red? Yeah. That's my paranoia.
Rolling.
Yeah, go ahead, AJ. And obviously he's off the radar. No one's heard from him.
Yeah, he's off the
radar. When was the last time you spoke to AJ?
Probably around the time when we did the hardcore mix CD.
Nice.
Was that about 2015, 2014 maybe?
Why is no one here of him now?
I don't know. I think he got started. No, I'll tell you what. Last time I spoke to him was when there was the combined HTID and BTID in the Sun in Magaluf in 2016. I'm going to guess that. Because at the time he was running HTID, and then I think it kind of all went a bit sour, and he kind of just left the scene. Because hardcore's pretty brutal and ruthless scene, and it's kind of spat a lot of people back out. And I think he was one of the people who was unfortunately one of them people.
Is hardcore more political than bounce?
Yes.
Extremely, or just a tad?
I don't know. I'd say.
Are the ravers more involved in the politics?
No, not as involved as like the ravers are just solely dedicated to the music and dedicated to the artist. There's a lot. They're really dedicated, the hardcore ravers, compared to the bounce. Whereas, the bounce lot, they kind of they want to know everything about you and stuff. And some of the stories I've heard about me over the years, which it's just. I just think to myself, wow, somebody's clearly made that up when they've been welded to a kitchen top somewhere.
What story?
I can't just
best one. Come on.
head. I don't know. Put me on the spot. I can't really think of any just off like the top of my head. But I mean, the ravers are a lot more dedicated. Like I said, there's been many a story over the years.
Good lad.
I said none I can really just think of right off the top of my head. But
there must be the maddest one. Come on, you think of the maddest one someone's said about you?
Stuff like, I've said this about somebody who I've never heard of.
Yeah,
and,
never even met them.
You've apparently been with this girl and I'd never heard of, and you've said this, you've said that. I'd be like, I don't say stuff like that, it's just complete and utter rubbish. But they're a bit more kind of involved in drama. But the hardcore is a bit more brutal, and because I think one thing I've noticed with music is the people that do it as a full-time kind of profession, they're a bit more kind of precious over it, and there's a bit more, you've got to be a bit more selfish, haven't you? Because that's what's ultimately paying the bills.
That's exactly.
So within the hardcore scene, there's a lot of people that
do it
full-time, a lot of the producers and stuff. And obviously at the time, during the mid-2000s, it was an absolute huge scene. There's... people are a bit more kind of protective over themselves. In hardcore as bounce, everyone's a bit more kind of, we're all a bit more kind of grounded, feet on the ground type thing. Nobody's really bothered about being seen as number one or, being the best. Everyone just kind of, backs each other and supports each other. So them are kind of the two main differences really between the two. But I mean, AJ, he was running HRD, and I think he was, like I said, there's a lot of people that have tried to make it in hardcore, and it just hasn't worked. And because he was so passionate about the music, I think he's probably to see that it wasn't doing the numbers that there was the owners were probably expecting. I don't know. Like I said, I don't really know the reasons. I've not really had the conversation.
I just want to jump back to the journey for a little minute, if I'm not jumping the gun. So obviously you started off MCing to bounce and stuff. Maxines, Wigan Pier. Like, when did the change come for you to start moving into different genres? Because I remember once I were at Sankey's for some reason, whether someone I know were on or we were just raving, and you were there MCing.
Sankey's.
And I was like, what? Wow, I didn't know Finchy did this sort of thing over different genres and stuff like that. So from being bounce, when did it come in your head or along the journey for you to sort of think, right, I'm going to branch out and try different music and expand a little bit?
Yeah, so it was probably, I started listening to hardcore. I used to listen to hardcore all the time as well when I was growing up, as well as the bounce stuff. And I it went off my radar for a bit because I was just in the bounce Scouse house kind of bubble really. And then around 2007, I started listening to hardcore again. A lot of like the HTRD stuff. Went to a few of the events. I used to go with Mick Omrod, who's in Destructive Tendencies.
I
used to go a few with him and Jay Parker. I'd get on the bus. the Aki bus, and I ended up going back to Aki a few times. That was heavy. So yeah, we go to a few of the HDRDs, and obviously being there and seeing that atmosphere, I was like, wow, this is amazing. I'd love to, be a part of this. And MC Watchy, MC Watching. Watsy, he reached out and got in touch. I don't know if it was MSN or something. He was like, "Oh, I've heard your stuff. I really like it. It's different. It's what he does." And then we kind of, become friends and stuff. I was like, "Oh, it's something I'd really want to do." But I knew at the time I had to, the way that did it, I had quite a lot to do. So it wasn't one of the things I was going to rush. It was always a kind of aspiration I wanted to do, but I just needed to set some time aside to write new material that would fit that, and work on other things. So it was always one of the things I wanted to do, but I had so much going on with the bounce gigs and stuff, and because I would have had to start from the bottom, I couldn't afford the drop in the wages, having to start again.
Did you take a drop when you went to hardcore?
Or was it was a slight drop.
Is it a drop now?
No, it's kind of even now, yeah.
Oh, it's the same as bounce?
Bounce probably a bit more, wage-wise, but it's still kind of respectable.
How much on?
Can't say.
Why?
No.
Come on, we're friends here. We like talking about, how much on.
No, it depends. It depends on how far I'm travelling, but I mean, going back to like Maxines, which was the biggest club at the time, it was 50 quid a week. Nice. That was how much she was getting there, which still wasn't too bad for like an 18-year-old. It was still a decent wage. But
so with you saying that, like you were just saying before, 15 years is a long time. Is the buzz still there for it, or is it more now just extra money? Or like, how do you keep doing it? How do you keep it alive?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. There's no denying, obviously, the money is good. But yeah, the motivation now is completely different. I'd say when I first started, I was just motivated to I wasn't even motivated to get my name out there. I just did it, and it was like nothing I ever took serious. I just kind of fell into the work and just kind of winged it the whole time. I never had any plan. I never had any. There was like my kind of plans where I want to go abroad and do it. I want to do certain clubs, but it was never. I never set a path for me to get to there. Whereas that's what I'll do now. I'll have my goals in my head that I want to achieve, and then I think, right, so I want to play here, I want to play there. In order to do that, this is what you have to do, and then I put the kind of I formulate a plan and then execute the plan type thing. Whereas back then it was just, I want to do that club. Hopefully I might end up there one day, and then lo and behold, every now and then you do it. So yeah, that's how it kind of changed really. And one of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to be like me all-time kind of aim was to be on like the big main stages at festivals. That was like one thing I always wanted to do, and I knew that being a bounce MC wasn't going to do that. One of the big changes is when I had a bit of time off from doing it, when I was travelling, I went living in Greece for 5 months, and I got a job as a host it was a house music club in Malia.
Come about.
Corver, he actually did a few seasons there, and there was a lad who used to be in the scene in the mid-2000s called Satster. He'd done about 30, he's probably in about 15th year or something, so he was a bit of a name out there, and he kept saying all the time, you need to come over, you'd smash it, you'd do really well. So yeah, I'd just come back from travelling. I thought I'll just go over there, so I did the season there, and then that's when I learned how to like really host. I mean, I'd done little bits hosting here and there, but I thought I kind of knew what I was doing until you put in a club every single night of the week, 5 hours, and then that's when you learn to kind of to take a step back, take your time, pick your moments, and kind of the way I look at it now is the same way a DJ would, taking the kind of the crowd through a journey, because I know if I go in straight away and say oggy 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 50 times within the first hour, for the rest of the night nobody's going to want to shout back. They're all, I always still say oggy 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 out, which a lot of the events now do, because everyone just seems to say oggy 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 all the time. So everyone, after a while, they get bored of shouting stuff back to you, so then that's when you've got to take your time, pick your moments. When the crowd's like dipping a bit, then that's when you go in and like get them hyped up. Like when the DJ's got them going, they're singing back all the time to the tracks. That's when you just step back. You don't need to do anything. The DJ's doing the work for you. So it's like from spending time there as well, there's load of big house acts. They'd come in to the club I was working, seen how I used to do it, and they was like, why haven't I heard you before? Because I'd never promoted myself before. I didn't have a page. I didn't do
the
nothing.
page is sort of new though, innit? How long have you had the page for? The Facebook page.
I think I set it up in about 2015.
And what number are you on
So
now?
it's 30,000.
Yeah,
That's
30,000.
That's mad. You're a Bounce MC with 30,000 likes.
30,000 on that.
That's mad.
I'd bounce MC, but I'd just say MC in general.
Yeah, but you know, it sounds. Saying a Bounce MC, it seems like it'll be hard to get them type of numbers, and that's true because to a lot of people, you know, it bounces underground. It is underground, but things are harder for a Bounce MC to sort of get to where you are, the stages you've been. Where over name places that being this MC has took you, as in abroad.
So yeah, I did bits in Australia, New Zealand. This year I did Bulgaria for the first time. They've been wanting me to get out there for a few years. Malia, Ayia Napa, Magaluf, Ibiza, Amsterdam, then Wales, Scotland, Ireland. There's been a few inquiries from about America, but they've never never materialised. So
what brand was that?
Well, Clubland have had some bits out there, and there's a few of these. There's a lot of bounce nights kind of cropping up now in America.
Yeah.
But to be honest, they have them in like weird places. Like there's one place that tried to come up, it's like a bar and grill. It's like, oh, we'll get you over, and I was like, I don't want to go to America to MC in a restaurant. It's not for me. So the ultimate kind of thing is try and get on one of the big stages, really, because I think I'm at that stage now where I don't want to do the rubbish stuff just for the sake of doing it. You know, when I go to like Bulgaria and Mali and places like that, I do the best clubs at the resort. So I don't want to just go. I wouldn't, go to Canada
just for the sake that it's in Canada or
Canada
America.
And just do it in a pub just to say I've done it there. You know, it has to be kind of worth my while, really. So
that's right, man.
But yeah, it was the Mali, seeing all them acts and stuff, the house acts. It was like, I've never really heard you. Why don't you promote yourself? You're really good. And it was good to hear it from people who listen to Bounce. They'd probably just automatically say, oh yeah, you're really good or whatever, or they might say I'm rubbish, whatever they think. It doesn't matter. But hearing people who do these big events, they'd never heard of me and they see me live, they're like, why aren't you doing stuff? And they was like really persistent with it as well. I was just like, oh, they're just kind of saying it, but it's really just like, no, you need to start doing it. So I just kind of, that's when I started thinking in my head, right, I've always wanted to get on these big stages. Doing stuff like this is something that can open a few doors into that. So then that's when I kind of started changing my mindset then and my focus to start doing stuff like that.
So you were saying, obviously, you keep motivated by writing goals and stuff. What's your next goal?
Well, my
goals
were, one of my ultimate goals was to do Creamfields, which I did for the last 2 years. That was one goal I wanted to do. The Wigan one was another. Doing an album is one.
How's that coming along?
Yeah, I'm pretty much, I'd say I'm about 80% of the tracks are done, but they're only 9% finished. So I'm going for the last 10% of each track. I'm going with doing like an engineering, just doing all the polishing and making it a decent product. Because producing wise, I'm not a producer. I've literally been making music for 2 years. Songwriting's like my kind of passion. That's led me into that. So
all these tracks are you produced by you?
Yeah,
100% publishing, basically.
Yeah, 100% publishing.
Wow.
So that was always.
You got anything on you now? You could sneak peek us.
After we've finished, I'll show you a few bits.
Not on the video?
No, not on the video.
Not the tiniest little bit? No. I've got a wire you can plug into your phone.
No, I'm not doing that. So it's a big passion of mine. Is like songwriting. It's something I've done odd little bits over the years, but it's something I've really wanted to kind of pursue. But the stumbling block I found with producers is, I'd say, send me an instrumental of a track that you really like. I'll write a vocal for it, no probs, but they'd be like, we prefer to get the vocal first.
Yeah.
So then I was thinking, right, so I'll learn just how to do basic chords, write the vocals, and then send them. But then once I started learning the chords and I was like watching tutorials on how to do other bits, I just went for the full hog and just started making just full tracks.
Sick, that's sick.
And then that's when I just came up with the idea. I bounced it around a few times about doing an album with different producers, like a bounce album. but nothing. I've learnt now not to kind of wait on other people and rely on other people. You know, you've just got to go out there and just do it yourself if you want something doing. So that's when I just thought I'll just do it myself. So I've written on the album. There's going to be a minimum of 10 tracks, which I think I've got about 12 or something. But I think I'll be happy with 10. 8 of them are all original vocals that I've written myself and had vocalists sang.
Sick.
So yeah, it'd be a fully published album.
What genre is it? Is it bounce music?
All bounce, and then I've got one secret track. Yeah, so the album's like kind of nearly finished now. So that was like one of my big announcements. So just
sick.
That's
Exclusive Flex podcast exclusive. Bam bam bam.
No, you already said this out loud, didn't you?
I've
He's announcing it
dropped
now.
hints on a few things. I've not formally announced it.
Did you mention if there's any other artists on it?
Yeah, I'm doing a few collabs. So I was in the studio with Fitzy and Rossi B on Friday. A few other bits as well. I'm doing one with Club Filler, potentially. Actually, yeah. I'll not say I'm doing other collabs because, like I said, I've learnt now the past 2 years doing collabs, and there's stuff that like me and John started one, that track we got re-sung in January, still not finished it. So this is why I said, you know,
hard work, and like I said, don't rely on other people.
Yeah, because stuff just gets in the way, and it's so hard getting together to.
So this one with John is what's happening with it, is it?
Yeah, we're gonna finish it eventually.
Is John a lazy person?
He's not lazy. He's just got loads of stuff he likes to do, hasn't he? You know, like combing his hair and stuff like that. So
chill with the cat and stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, there's stuff like we need to finish. There's so many like projects I've started with people, and you know, they just kind of. They don't get finished, so that's why I just do stuff on my own now. But
any other MCs on it?
No
plan on having another MC on it.
There's only one track that's actually got me doing any kind of MCing in.
Oh, is
like
that?
I said, with the vocals that I've written, these like proper songs that I've written and got vocalists to sing to. So it's just to give people as well. You know, don't get me wrong. There's people making some great tracks out there, but if I hear a track and I've heard the vocal before, it's either been remixed from the early 2000s or it's in the charts, it just puts me off it straight away. Especially if it's been remixed before within Bounce, I just don't instantly I'm not interested.
What tracks are you referring to?
Probably 90% of the tracks that you hear at Bounce events. I don't need to single any out.
So I just get like that sometimes.
Yeah, you get like that sometimes.
I just want to just...
Yeah, you do. I told you, you won't get a bite.
No, I'm not after a bite, I'm after a convo.
Yeah. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, I mean, they're good, they work, they do the job, but the thing that interests me is, like, why I love hardcore so much. Like, back in the mid-2000s, there was so much original stuff. You're hearing these vocals, like, wow, this is amazing. And it makes it stand out, whereas, you know, we don't have that in Bounce, and I've been getting on at people for years to do it, and then again that's when I've just come to the fact you can't rely on other people to do it. I've just got to go and do it myself. So
there's not a lot of original music in the scene.
None.
Why do you reckon that is?
I think one of the main reasons is if you look back in the mid-2000s when there was more original stuff being done, vinyl was a huge part in that. So you could go out, make a vinyl, sell it.
Sorry.
If your little metal bottle.
I heard someone called that before. I'm going to use that. Add that onto the locker. You little metal bottle. Yeah. You little metal bottle. Yeah, vinyls. You know, people making mega money off vinyls. Yeah. You know, you're talking. I don't know how much they was, but you're shifting. You know, a couple thousand units of vinyls at £8 a pop. You know, it's decent. It's decent money. So the money's in it, whereas the money's now in gigs. So if you invest as a producer, the way that you've got to look at it is from sales now. You might make what on average. I don't know what the average is. Probably less than £50 off digital sales. So the money's in the gig. So if you as a producer,
you've got to pay a singer.
You've got to pay a singer. You know, you've got to invest time in it. Spend a lot more time in doing original melodies, etc. You know, it's probably money for nothing.
Yeah.
Whereas it's not too bad for me because the reason I didn't just start releasing original stuff is because it can just get lost in the middle of everything. So I thought to make a bit of an impact, an album's something I've always wanted to do, and then that'll make it. It won't get lost as easy, I don't think. So suddenly there'll be 10 tracks, and don't get me wrong, I could probably release them and single and get good results and whatnot. But I think as an album,
More
put them all
impact.
on, more impact. It's one of the things I get asked about a lot of the times now is people say, oh, when's this album done? People seem to be kind of excited because nothing like this has ever been done before. Probably from when Ultrabeat released their album. But again, a lot of their stuff was hardcore covers. So there's nothing been like this where it's just completely original stuff, vocals that people have never heard before.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Is it going on Spotify?
Spotify.
iTunes?
So there'll be 500 hard copies, which I'll be releasing first, and then 2 weeks after that it'll be on Spotify.
I think we should do
Apple
a
Music.
Finch album listening party, man. We've
Yeah.
talked through
Yeah.
the tracks.
Yeah, man. I'll do it for that.
We're doing a review. We're planning on doing a review of other albums that are coming out soon, and that would be a good idea to do a review on yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so that's what I'm working on at the minute. Gonna release that. I was hoping the end of October, but it might creep into November. Depending when I can obviously get time just to finish the last 10% off. But I'm pretty happy with what's been done so far, and the vocals. Some of the vocalists I'm working with are really good. It's just doing the final tweaks now. So
Sick.
Nice, man. Nice. So, Ozone Bounce. Right.
go on.
When did you first because people who don't know the scene go, oh, that Finchy tune, Ozone Bounce,
Ozone
whatnot.
Bounce.
So where was that? Where did that first happen? That track.
So that first happened. Some of the lads as well. Before I started at Maxines, there was a guy called Tommy G, who's back doing. He does like the BTID events now and a few other bits.
Who?
Tommy G. He's called.
Tommy G.
Yeah, Tommy G and Poe are the names. They've only just started making a bit of a comeback. But if you're at a few events, you'll come across them. But Tommy used to have a full deck set up and stuff, and used to like let me and a few others go around to ease, which was handy at the time. He was like, a lot older than us. He was about 21, 20. I was about like 14, 15. He was like, yeah, just come round, and then you just get on the mic at his house. So when I started at Maxines, he then started a thing at a pub called The Raven. And what they used to do is a bit like a pre-party. They used to start at 6 o'clock till 11. They'd set the decks up, and people would normally go there before they went to Pier or Maxines. So yeah, I used to go down there all the time because obviously they're my mates and stuff. So I was like, yeah, of course I'll come down there. You don't have to pay me or anything. It was just go down there just because they're my mates. And yeah, they recorded one of the nights. And so this was, again, I was probably 16, 17 when the Ozone Bounce that everybody knows kind of happened. So yeah, that's when it got recorded. And again, YouTube, going back to when I said YouTube, it started, I don't know how many, over a million probably.
As you and Ozone Bounce got.
Who
Who made the track?
Nobody actually knows. It's some kind of Spanish guy. Who nobody knows, but yeah, I think that it was a white label vinyl and it just said Ozone Bounce on it.
Right, well, it says here on YouTube, MC Finchy and Ozone Bounce has 2.9 million views.
Crikey.
That is crazy.
Yeah, so it's quite a few.
You did a remix, didn't you?
Yeah, I did a bit of
version.
an update, in 2016, and I've actually done a proper full track remix for the album as well. So
what, with new bars?
No bars on it, no.
Oh, no bars.
Just the actual track itself.
And that's
when I said I've got 8 original vocals and there's 2 that are not original. That's one of the not original ones.
Do you have to go through some sort of permission to?
No.
You've looked into it, yeah.
Yeah, I looked into it. Everything's replayed. Nothing's taken out of. No samples are taken out of any tracks. Obviously, the melody's out of. The melody itself is like a lyrics to something. But yeah, it should be fine. Fingers crossed. So nobody grasses me in. There's stuff on Spotify which shouldn't be on there.
Is there?
Yeah, plenty stuff. Kind of slipped through the net. And I'm not going to be making millions off there, but
you never know.
No,
you never know.
Never know.
Have you got any new bars?
To be honest, I've not written anything since we did the Supreme album earlier this year that we dropped, the mix CD.
That was sick.
Is there any new bars on there you've already used on there, like sort of not before?
Yeah, plenty. So that's what I kind of do, because I've had other bits on the go. I've not really needed to write new lyrics. So when I know I'm planning my next mix CD, then that's when I'll start the writing process again. Yeah. But every now and then something might pop into my head and I'll just write one day. And I think Yummy Mummy actually is the only recent one that I've written. That was probably about 3 months ago.
Do you reckon you could do it for us now?
What?
Yummy Mummy's Bar?
No, because if you want to see the video, search Yummy Mummy.
I can put the tune on through our ears. And you can do that Yummy Mummy's Bar?
No.
Yeah. You sure? Nice one. You pass that wire.
I'm not doing this now.
I'll do it with you.
Is this why you brought that wire to set this up?
No. I've not done that. I just brought it just in case we needed it. Oh shit, did you do that then?
I sure, I don't think this'll, if you're putting this on Spotify and stuff, I don't think this'll cut the mustard, will it? It'll probably get taken off.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, it's not really clean cut, is it?
We'll do it anyway.
If the crowd asks, the crowd.
That's it.
Should we do it?
I'm asking. I want it.
Do you want it? Do you want it, Chloe?
Have you heard it?
You might say yes. Oh my god. Really not bothered. Just do it.
Not bothered.
Right. So yeah, Yummy Mummy's rhyme. Are you up for it? Yeah.
Yeah. I hope I can remember it now. You kind of put me on the spot. Yeah,
do you want a few minutes?
No, it's okay. Go on. Let's go with it.
Pick a tune. I can go for the Oswald Bounce one, but if you want to go...
Put Superfly, Gotta Be Love.
Tune. Big
that
tune.
was loud.
That's the one I need. That's one I've been dropping it to in the clubs. Jesus, turn that down.
That's fucking bad. That Superfly. By who?
Put Gotta Be Love. It's Superfly as well. SUPA.
Yeah.
Alex
K.
Yeah, that's the
He's going to flag this, isn't he?
No. Put it to the breakdown.
I'm just going to knock that off that thing.
Oh, what is that clicking? It can be weird though, this. I don't remember the last time I was sat in a beanbag.
Spitting bars.
In Darwin, spitting bars. I actually just remembered actually, the last time I was probably spitting bars in Darwin. I went back to an after party, come in Darwin once, and me and MC Roach was having a...
Yeah, I wasn't there, but I heard about that.
An MC battle.
I heard about it.
I was there.
No, he wasn't.
I was. Was it a frequency CD?
No, it weren't a CD. This was in someone's house
I heard about
after an event.
All right.
Yes.
Whose house?
I don't know. It was one of Greeny's mates.
Yeah, I think Roach stayed there for quite a while, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I heard about it.
Yeah, and he ended up falling out with me and Wiggy because all the Darwin lads were like all on my side and kept calling Roach. He's like, you proper hung me to dry out in there. No, it was good times.
Right, are you ready?
Yeah, go on.
Let's go in. Should I fast forward or...
Yeah,
it's a breakdown.
Here we go.
I'll go back a little bit.
No, just to there.
Sorry.
It's like, here, what I'm doing here. Check. Oh, I thought it was going to drop there. I hope I can actually remember it. Hi, I'm that yummy mummy. Got my 5th child in my tummy. I don't know who the father is, I just do for the benefit money. My kids are dirty and scummy. I don't bother to wash their clothes. They play out in their school uniform and always have a snotty nose. Pongs of prawns, they do the school run in the PJs. Don't ever pay for the drugs, they pay the dealers in BJs. Don't pay no tax, they don't pay bills, they rob stuff from Home Bargain. And when it comes to the summer, they put the sofa in the front garden. I love being a full-time yummy money, cause it's a job that pays. I drop the kids off at mum and dad's, then I'll stay out for days. I get off my head every weekend, never cook no Sunday roast. The only thing I make for my scruffy kids is pot noodles on toast. I can't hold down a boyfriend, my ex is a all I did was turn off my mobile when I was sucking his best mate's. But it's his loss because they say that single ladies want to have fun. And the happiest when I got a bum full of... Sorry, are you okay, hon?
Jeez!
That's explicit, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Love it.
No, so yeah, that's the... there's that one and the Paper Straws song as well.
Speaking of Paper Straws, was there a music video coming out for that?
Yeah, but it's not happened, has it?
What's happened with it?
I don't. It's just not in the news anymore, is it? Because that was my thing. It was like I seen the outrage that was going on, and then I got the idea. I was like, I need to do a song about this. So I approached yourself. Said I've got this idea. initially I just put it over like a jacking track, writ the rhyme, and then you said, yeah, that's great. So we did obviously a day's worth of filming, didn't we? And then we thought rather than using someone else's track, get a track made so then we can put it on Spotify, put it on YouTube, and release it as a track. And there was just some bits we wanted to do with the filming, but just kind of...
Yeah, we had one more scene to do with the Pitch Invader. But
Stage Invader.
Pitch Invader.
Yeah,
Sorry, Paul.
Not
RJ. But yeah, and that was the final scene. But
just didn't realise it. And then by the time I think we had a weekend free to do it, it was kind of old news then, wasn't it? And it's just one of them annoying things. But it was
the video. Obviously, you've not seen it. Because I've finished it. I've just not done the hook scene. So it's like I might put some on this video just show a little bit of it because it's class.
Yeah.
I'll just roll it after this at the end so people can have a look. But yeah, it's good. So this will be the only time you see it after this.
Yeah. So that was the only two. I think I'll probably going to put that on the album as like a little bonus track so people can hear it.
Do you reckon we should just finish it?
I don't think it's old news. I think it's old news now for it to have the impact that it would have at the time.
What happens if we just put in brackets old video so people know?
No, I think it's past its time now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's time to
it was a great idea at the start. Everything about it. The whole
be fast, aren't you?
But the one the jacking track you spat over was fire. You preferred the new one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with the new one. Like you got sorted, but my heart was set on the first.
I think
one.
it's because you've heard the first one. That's what you're used to. So then once you hear it on something different, you think you kind of in your head you're used to the original one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally get it. But again, music's it's opinions, isn't it? There's no right and wrong. It's just whatever you think's best. But yeah, it was a shame we never got to finish it because it would have been big. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. Like
the teaser itself got like 25k views.
Yeah.
And that was what 6 seconds long.
Yeah.
So you just could tell by then it was going to do all right.
Yeah, 100%.
So shame about that.
Yeah, so they're the only two recently that I've written, but we'll probably do another Supreme next year. So once that's leading up to that, I'll start writing.
That was a nice project, man. Everybody spitting proper lyrics on there. It was a sick project.
Yeah, I mean, I've had that idea to put that together for like years, and then it was just putting with the concept of the tune after tune, listen to like the drum and bass mixes, and that's all drum and bass is, isn't it? Like they just do drop after drop. There's no kind of breakdowns or anything. I thought that would work well, like over doing bounce tunes, drop after drop, about 20 minutes long, so it's not too much. It's just enough, and then just go bar for bar. So I had that idea for quite a while, and then that's when I just said to the lads, "Look, this is what I want to do. Can we make it happen?" It was just like, "Yeah, we'll definitely do it." So yeah, I reached out to Keenan, told him what I wanted to do.
He smashed it with that mix.
Yeah, with a mix. So I didn't tell him what tracks. I give him probably. I asked the lads, what's your favourite drops out of certain tracks. They all give me one track. I suggested about 2 drops that I liked to Keenan, and yeah, he went and just did the rest, put it all together. Again, something that people have never kind of heard before. So I did. It was one of them. It was like I knew he'd do well, and then it was when the lads started to come round and record the bits, and because of my knowledge now on the production software, that's when I had all the putting the like little sound effects and doing everything. So because I've got that kind of knowledge now to do that, I knew I could make it a great product and stuff. So yeah, once lads come down, putting the bars over it and stuff, and I was hearing it come together, I was like, yeah, it's gonna go off. So.
Who lyrically, who do you think's like the best MC in Bounce?
Grimesy. Yeah, by streets.
Who do you think's the best performer in Bounce, MC wise?
Cover.
Where's yours too, Mike?
What? Oh, I don't know, man. I don't want to start talking about MC. Well, I want to talk to an MC, not about him. But yeah. So Grimesy and
Grimesy for lyrics. He's still. I think he's one of the best lyrically in any genre I've heard in this country. Right. Better than any
wild
grime.
Yeah, it's
grime
the type of
artists
lyrics he uses as well.
Yeah, it's so clever, but because I study the art a bit as well, and like I listen to like other kind of genres, not religiously, but like I understand how people put raps together and stuff, and how they fit certain syllables in. And like Eminem's like really clever because he can write a rhyme, and like every single kind of word on each sentence rhymes with the word above. There's so many clever things that are in there, and Grimesy's got that, which no other bounce kind of MCs have. They're so like intricate, and they're not your standard kind of flow or thought process that other people do. So like Grimesy lyrically just blows my mind, and the topics is
Topics are mad,
absolutely ridiculous. But it's like, yeah, when he come round, I had to keep stopping recording because I'd burst out laughing because he had a load of new material I hadn't heard, and he's always had that impact on me. Grimes, like, you know, he's always been, we've always got on really well and stuff, and I've always like appreciated everything that he does, and yeah, he's just such a life. Is there a ghost in here?
What was that? Oh, are they at home? I'm glad they've come home now and not before. That your mummy's bars. Were they home then?
They're home then. Oh, you know, people pay to see that thing.
So, best up and coming MC. Who do you reckon?
Up and comers. I don't know. It's one of them grey areas, isn't it? Up and comers is like who do you class as an up and comer?
What do you class as an up and coming MC?
I'd say probably. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, because you can't go off years, you know, because people might class me as up and coming in hardcore, where I've been an MC for 15 years, so I'm a really up and coming. I don't know, it's a tough one to say really, but I mean, I think people over the years that are kind of stepping up to like towards the top tier, I think Lukey P is definitely up there now as one of the best performers. So the Junior, I like the work rate he's got with the work he puts in.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many now as well. The standard of MC now is so good. It's like light years ahead of what it's ever been, and that's all down to, I think, you know, people like myself, Corver, Ben, doing stuff that other people wanted. They're seeing the stuff that we do, and then I was like, oh, they need to kind of step up the game, which is brilliant, you know, because that's what you want to do. It's, again, the people who are mentioned who are probably considered at the top, there's no kind of ego with them all. They want to be the best. It's just want to improve and stuff. Yeah. And then with that as well, it's like everyone else wants to get to that level, and we don't like push people down or anything. We're always there to help people.
And obviously,
get up to that.
It works both ways as well. Like with these up and comers, as they're called, being so good, it obviously pushes you to stay on top of your game as well, doesn't it? And
exactly. And the thing is as well is, you know, there's people that they look up to people in the scene and stuff, and then they take bits from them. So then it's like, I get inspiration from other people and like what they do, but I always like go to different genres, and that's how I've always done it. You know, because I don't like saying at the top, but like when you're at the top, you can only look sideways, can't you? You know, you don't want to kind of look down. But no, it's like the standard now is really good, which is, I think it's how it should be as well. You know, people, they put more of an effort in to get noticed now is so hard compared to, albeit it was hard back then.
I was about to say, I think it was harder back then than it is now, because there was internet back then at the start, but now it's just like if you drop a video with some heavy bars and a good beat, it's gonna go. It's good, and with the way Facebook works, because you get views so easy on Facebook than anywhere else, because it's just a news feed. Someone can scroll past and the music comes on, it auto plays, so you can get easy views. And when people see them high views, they go and watch it anyway just to see what the views are all about. So I think if you've got the balls to put yourself in front of a camera and do it to the up and comers, and it'll work if they're good. It's all about just having the balls to go.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, doing something different, like the stuff with Easy and Tasker, the videos that they did.
That was class.
Was brilliant.
I loved all
brilliant.
That, man. I was gutted that I didn't get to do a video for any of them.
Yeah. So I mean, Tasker actually, he's probably one of the few. I'd heard bits of him before, but never really. Like I said, I don't really like listen to that much MCing. But it was someone said, no, you really need to like listen. So I listened to one of the things. I was like, oh, this guy's really good. And then obviously all that came out with him and Easy, and Easy's brilliant as well. He's really good. So yeah, it was, you know, they got like there's people like giving them, you know, abuse and stuff. So, oh, it's cringy and stuff like that. But
Who?
to me,
Who?
well,
It's always good
just
to have
the
a bit of
trolls-
beef. It's always good to
trolls
have a
in
bit
there.
of beef.
But
I
I
think.
thought it was brilliant.
I
I
loved
was
it.
I was all for it.
It was fresh, wasn't it?
yeah, fresh.
The replies were
both-
turned around quickly, man. That's
Yeah, and they're both lyrically like really, really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was that was really good. So yeah, stuff like that, stuff that's not been done. Master C, his album that he brought out, which his mix CD that I bought last year, which came with like the rhyme book and stuff.
class that, yeah.
Was great. So yeah, it's good seeing stuff like that. That people have not done, because that's we all get behind it. And I think the MCs, I think probably the best thing in the scene, when it should be the producers and the DJs, but no one's really doing anything that's not been done before, producer and DJ wise. So I think if they took kind of a leaf out the MC's book, then we'd be in a lot healthier place.
It does come across as the MCs are putting in the work in the scene, and it's a shame really, because obviously the music from the DJ is the heart of it. But it's one of them.
I know. I think the issue is with DJing. There's too many DJs, and there's only so much that you can do on decks. The next big DJ in Bounce is going to be someone who, if you look at like the host James Hype, Danny T, the way that they do all the tricks and the effects, nobody does that in Bounce.
That would go off if someone started doing that.
Nobody's
as well.
got the brains and the kind of know how to do that. Like I said, people just look up at the top, they see what they're doing, and if they're just doing your standard mixing, then they're just going to copy that. Whereas you need to kind of venture out and look at what other scenes are doing and what's working well, and try and do that. So that's my belief. So if DJs you're listening, start learning that.
Unless it's a good shout.
Yeah, because you've got to have music now. If you're not producing, then to stand out a DJ, you've got to do something else that nobody else is doing, which
exactly
is not really happening.
There's a lot of bassline and bassline DJs who do not produce, who are getting big stage bookings because they're good at mixing them tracks in and choosing the right track and all that. And like I said, they don't produce, but most people on main stages produce, as in DJs. When we talk about like places like Victoria Warehouse and Creamfields and whatnot, there is just what type of DJs they call them. There's a name for the style. I can't think. Like Nathan Doe. Even though he has just brought a tune out, he brought a tune out a bit ago, but he was known as a certain DJ. What was it called?
Yeah, there's Ben Nicky. He's one, like James Hype before he released the tracks. Yeah. Danny T.
Danny T and stuff. And he weren't releasing tracks. He's not been doing tracks for a while, has he? A few years.
It's like he's brought like the odd like
couple
bootleg and stuff like that out, yeah.
But them type of DJs, it's just the skill of, just putting sick tracks together. It works.
Yeah. But I mean, people don't grasp that though. You see so many kind of statuses and people mourning, saying, "Oh, I'm not getting the bookings I should be." And don't get it wrong, you see it from producers as well who should probably be getting bookings. But like I said, to make yourself stand out, you've got to do something different. Which
you've got to ask yourself why you're not getting them bookings and make a change, innit?
Exactly.
Yeah. You gotta make a change. I don't know the next bit.
So for an up and coming MC or DJ, if you had to tell them something, if they ask you, what have I got to do, Finch? What do I need to do? What would you say to them?
For an MC, I'd probably just say, study the people who you take influence from. That's what I did. I just had a lot of different influences at the start. I stole bits from them that I liked and kind of put my twist on it. And then after I kind of exhausted that avenue, then that's when I started looking at other genres. Because, I mean, previously, if you look at when MCing back in like the 2005 era, when people were on stage and stuff, there wasn't much hyping. People just stood there and did that. There wasn't much getting the crowd involved. So it's like, when I see the likes of Storm, WizKid, Watsy at the hardcore raves jumping around with so much energy, then that's when I kind of brought that into my game a bit. So just look at what people do, look at other genres, what works well for them. I mean, like I said, drum and bass for me has got the best MCs, so I take a lot of inspiration from what they do. Not the way that they might, do the rhymes, but the way that they might put mixtape together, like Evil B. The way that he put his mixtapes together, completely like blew my mind. So if you listen to like the KFC volumes, which did really really well, the actual production on it, sound wise, and the quality is kind of similar to Evil B's, although my lyrics are nowhere near as good. But it's doing, because when people heard that, they're like, "Oh, this is brilliant!" Like, it sounds dead good and it's dead structured. some say it's too perfect, they prefer it just raw, but
yeah, some people are like that, they're used to the old school way.
Yeah.
But you can't progress if you stay old school.
no, exactly. And the argument I always say to that is, what we're doing is, in effect, it's basically rapping. And, you know, when you hear Dr. Dre or Eminem release an album, you don't hear them doing it live, do you? It's in a studio, perfect.
Yeah.
So you get the best listening experience, and you can do stuff in a studio that you can't do live. And people say, "Oh, you should be able to." Like, no, that's what a studio's there to do, to enhance what you do, what you can't do live. So that's always. But I do get it. Don't get me wrong. I love just getting on a mic and spitting bars. But like I said, it's from an outsider looking in. People in Bounce can appreciate that. But if you're someone who's from Nottingham and London and stuff, and you just hear a lot of live shouting, you think this is a lot of crap. But yeah, so it's listen to other genres. Probably go for DJs as well. Take your time, just do something different. You know, do stuff that's not been done before, and just don't mourn. Don't lick arse. Don't mourn and feel sorry for yourself. Just keep working, because you know they always said, don't they, an overnight success takes 10 years. It's a true saying that. And like I said, I was very lucky that I just got thrown in at Maxines straight away. You know, the odd few people might get that chance, but other than that, you've got to just work hard and be really good. That's probably the best advice I could give, really.
It's got some good advice, that.
Yeah, pretty sad.
So, right, what have you got to? What's going to end it on? What's coming from you? Besides, obviously, we know the album's coming.
Album's coming.
Exclusive.
What's coming next?
What's your plan? Yeah, what's your plans and stuff? What's the main something not mentioned yet?
So one of the things I've always wanted to do, like I said, is always do stuff that's not been done before. One thing I've always wanted to do is, we had about 12 years ago when Vice did the documentary. I've spoke to you a few times over this.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably going to be something I really want to sink my teeth into after the album's done. So it's because they did the documentary where they basically annihilated us. You know, we got lured into a false sense of security, and they just annihilated us. For people who haven't watched, we got in touch, and they got in touch, asked could they're doing a documentary about it. Didn't, you know, said we were really interested in the music that you do. They spent like the full day with me filming, asking me questions and stuff, and they did ask a few like questions like, I thought, I'm not answering. I said, I'm not answering that.
What?
They'd just be saying, "Oh, so what drugs do you take?"
Wow.
I'd be like, "Well, I don't really take them." He's like, "What have you had then?" I was like, well, "Not really. What's that going to do with like music?"
Yeah.
And then, like, even like to invite them like round to my mum's, like they sat and had a brew, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, what do you think of the drug culture?" And you know.
To your mum?
Yeah, I was like,
little twats.
But this was like, but this was like it was in the middle of them asking normal questions like, "Oh, how did you get into it?" and stuff. "Oh, is there a big drug culture, and you know, is it full of steadheads?" And I'm like, "Oh, not really. You know, there's maybe one or two there and stuff." But then when they released the documentary, although they was filming with me for a full day, they put me on for about 20 seconds, and then so like when they'd ask them questions to other people, and they're probably, it's full of steadheads, it's full of everyone's wrecked. Like them are the bits they showed and focused on, you know. So they
shed it in a bad light.
Yeah, annihilated us. So one of the things I've always wanted to do is kind of do a
recover
counter
from that.
Yeah, and just show, you know, because that's one of my good things is one of the reasons I love branching out and doing other things is I like so if people hear me on a house track or a house event and they think, "Who's this guy?" Then they'll search, and then they'll like listen to the music and be like, "Oh, I like that music," and then they'll start coming to the events then. So that's like one of the things that I do. It's I've always said my aim's never to be like the best or anything. I like just kind of leaving a legacy and getting people introducing different people into the music. So I think people have like a preconception of what it's like, you know, in bounce music. They used to have it as chavvy and stuff like that, but just the documentary just kind of showing the history, the things that are happening now, all the big things that happened in the past. So that would be something that I'd really want to do. Supreme will probably be early next year. Start working on that. Volume 2.
With the Supreme, is it pre-recorded or is everyone there doing it?
Initially, we went to meet up all on the same day. About 3 times, and then people kept like dropping out, and then in the end. Yeah, I just said, "Listen, just come down when you can." So I did each person individually.
Right.
Not in that way, but yeah, I did them individually. I got them round to mine and just recorded separately. But I think we've made a conscious effort now, because I knew it was going to be good, but I think obviously the lads didn't expect it to blow up like it did. So yeah, I think next time we'll do it. I think it'd be better to record us all at the same time.
Yeah.
Did someone just get killed outside?
It's Darwin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, cool, man. Nice one for coming down.
No worries.
It's been we've had a good chin waggy, haven't we?
Yeah, we have, yeah.
Right, so let's. That's your camera. I want you to tell them where to find you.
Socials, my tagline is the MC Finchy, so that's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. The only thing, SoundCloud at the minute. I set up the MC Finchy years ago, and then I just never used it. Set up a new one, MC-Finchy. I'm trying to get it switched over. So yeah, MC-Finchy. My website will be back up shortly, which is mcfinchy.co.uk, or if you type .com in, it'll redirect you. So I'm just setting up the shop and everything for the album release. I think that's it, innit? The main ones. Oh, Insta, yeah, the MC Finchy on Insta. Yeah, that's like my main one that I like using now. I used to use Snapchat, Stu Finch, if you want to add me on that, but I've kind of gone off Snapchat now. I just tend to do Insta, which is what I wanted to do the transition, because Snapchat was just doing me head in.
Same.
Getting videos at like 3 a.m. on Wednesday, people playing the tunes and stuff. I'm like, I don't need to be seeing this. So yeah, the MC Finch is most of my taglines.
Oh, cool. Thank you again, brother.
Sweet.
Nice having you,
man. Nice one.
That's it. That is podcast 003. This is me. No, this is me. This is V.
And hit the link, subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell, and catch it when it comes out.
Bang.
Bang, 2-1.
Peace.
Hello? Yeah, please.
You'll know the feeling. Drinking last night was appealing. Figured a couple was alright. Feel like I'm too old now to be a raver. Hopefully my D's will do me a favour. Girlfriend rings me, what a saviour. A large big tasting meal with a fizzy drink. I don't care what flavour, I don't care what flavour. But you better hurry up now, come on chip chop. My mouth's as dry as Gandhi's flip flop. My hungover, take it over my body, I think I need saving. Shack it, his slop, meal arrives, come through the door. After a sip my jaw hits the floor. What the hell is happening right here? What the hell is this paper straw? Come on, is this a sick joke? Try to have a sweet but I almost choked. What use is this big tasty meal to me? If I can't watch it down with a Diet Coke. I need this beverage in my body, but my straw has got all soggy.
Why don't you just suck up a bit harder?
Can't, because it's got all cloggy.
Why don't you take the top off and drink it?
Because it's half full of ice, you dimwit. And it's not very good for my sensitive teeth. What the hell is Ronald thinking? It must be out of his mind. Only need paper for writing and reading. Not for trying to suck up your chocolate milkshake so hard that all you can stop bleeding. I don't want no paper straw. Oi, what do you change it for? Oi, what do you change it for? I don't want no paper straw. I don't want no paper straw. Oi, what do you change it for? Oi, what do you change it for? I don't want no paper straw.